Okay, thank you everybody for tuning in to my next podcast. This one is actually just going to go over my plan, and it's going to be a very condensed version. I have it on my website, and that's one of the reasons why. So I'm this, and that's actually where I'm reading it from is my website, jasonforjacksoncounty.com. And so, given that, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on this. I'm just going to kind of summarize things. Now, I will say my original list was over 10 items long, and I was told, realistically, I needed to shrink it down a little bit. Because you can't really try to change the world. But my thinking was is that it's a 4 year, 10 year, and hopefully longer. Hopefully it could be long term solutions in place, oversee those solutions. Um, you know, but who knows? And so I trimmed it down quite a bit, but there's still a lot of other miscellaneous topics here. But the obvious one is assessment and taxes, and I don't feel I have to get into this one a whole lot. My next podcast is going to go over assessment and taxes, how we've gotten to this point, and some views from the inside that I had personally. And one thing that I think has been overlooked by everybody, that at least that I've ever read any comments from, and so there's a lot of improvements that I feel could be done there. Obviously, 2023 has the potential to be a pretty rough year with Tyler Technologies already going out doing the assessments. And again, nobody really can predict what's going to happen with that, but there is a good chance that we're going to see some increases. And you know, my crystal ball is saying that based on a lot of the evidence that I'm going to present in my next video, again, we'll go into why I do feel that there is a possibility definitely for some increases. And so, obviously, assessment and taxes, that's on a lot of other people's agendas also. That's the hot topic, so to speak. Now, safety in general is something that encompasses a lot of different areas. Um, County buildings, roads and bridges, crime. Law enforcement, making sure those that commit crimes are actually punished for them and not just, put right back out on the streets. There's a lot of issues that, could see some definite improvement on that. And public safety, it's really hard to overlook that, especially with the way things are going currently overall. Again, that kind of goes without saying, I feel like. Now, helping the local economy, again, we're starting to recover. Jackson County had some much more strict COVID mandate regulations than that of bordering counties. And so there were a lot of small businesses that suffered and are still suffering because of, what Jackson County was doing. I'm sure that's been devastating to a lot of people, a lot of small businesses. And I feel that we really need to rebound from that, and we really need to even, make up for that, so to speak, because we really destroyed our local economy with some of the things that we did, and at the very least, we made it very difficult for them. Now, here's my catch-all. I am kind of an overachiever, a little OCD even, which can be a good thing as a county executive, I feel like. Most people tell me I have the personality that would be really good for it because I want things to get done. There's a lot of other things. Homelessness, which, the county does have implementations in place that to help with that. But, there's trash and litter, which I would like to see handled better. Again, the cities have some things for that as well. But the thing that I was able to do put on my agenda that kind of helped me trim it down a little bit. Of course, it doesn't really trim it down, but basically, other inefficiencies. I can't talk today. An audit of all the departments. Really, and this wasn't even my idea necessarily. Back in 2007, when Mike Sanders took over, I remember there was a process that he set up that he was going to kind of do an overview of all the departments and see how things were going. And I remember thinking, what, that's a good idea, because brand new person, new sheriff in town, just kind of see what's working, get the slate clean, so to speak. And this is actually what our what I was given, because I was part of this process with our department, and so I mean, you can see that there was a plan in place. Now, how much of this actually happened, how many of the departments actually got this, I'm not really sure, but I thought it was a really good idea at the time, and I remember thinking, you know what, yeah, that could work. And I thought, I was very much behind that, and for just starting over, in some areas. And I think that there's really nobody that knows what's working and what's not more than the public and the county employees that do the job. And it's kind of interesting how, being a former county employee, it's really interesting how little say or input they have on things. But again, that's kind of the catch-all, to where I don't really think anything should be overlooked. I know the taxes is a hot topic, but again, and there's so many things, again, that would be on my agenda that I think that are important. But again, trying to keep it fairly slim anyway, with, of course, property taxes being the big one right now, or the hot topic. And that will, again, be my next video. Some things with that. I hope everybody finds that interesting. But again, for more on this, you can check it out on my website, jasonforjacksoncounty.com. That is where I have all my information, where you can donate, volunteer, reach out to me, however you want to. But I am going to go ahead and end this now, and I will be back with another podcast soon.